welcome, 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 welcome. Drum roll. Don't mind me. I'm just excited to be here. Um, thank you. Thank you for coming back. If you're a return subscriber, and if this is your first time, thank you for coming back. My name is Tolani, and I'm filming. I'm Nigerian, and I'm filming from Niagara Falls, Ontario, Canada. So welcome. I just want to do a story time of how me and my cousin were lost in the dead of a winter when we first arrived in Canada. So it started off like we arrived in Canada in February, like maybe first, actually last week of February. That was when we arrived, and we had to go into school, of course. And both of us were just well, for me, I just finished. I was in my SS3. People who are from Nigeria will know what I mean when I say SS3, which is the last grade of high school. Back home, we call it high school. Here we call it secondary school. Here is high school. Yeah, we call it secondary school, but it means high school. So I was in my last grade of high school back home when we came, and my cousin was close to that, and then my younger brother, SS1. Yeah, SS1. My cousin was SS2. I was SS3. Yeah, that's exactly what it was. Was it SS1 he was, or GS1? I think GS1, which is like kind of last of elementary school or something like that. Anyways, three of us came to Canada at the same time, and oh my god, it was first experience of ever seeing snow. We've heard about it, but we don't know what it's like. So, and we didn't know how cold it was. So, getting here, it was really, really cold. Just walking from the airport into the car was freezing. It was really, really freezing. It was so cold. And we have jackets on because my mom told us we need to wear jackets. We came with a friend of ours who has been going back and forth, and it happens to be the same time that she was coming. So she bought a ticket for us, and then we came with her. We came on a plane with her. So we had our jacket on, but it was so freezing. Oh my god, that was the first time, very first time I've ever experienced a cold country. Oh my god, it was really cold. Imagine coming from Nigeria where the degree is like so high, very, very sunny, heat, really hot, and then coming to a different country in the middle of the winter, like February. That was really, really cold. Anyways, going straight to the story. So we came in, we had to go and do series of tests to kind of know what level of education we are going to be in, although they do go by age. And at the time I was 16, which is here is grade 12, which is the last grade. At that time they have grade 13. Actually, it used to end in grade 13. I think 2 years after when I started high school was when they ended grade 13. But back then they used to be grade 13. Anyways, so we did everything was fine, and they placed us in grade we had to go for testing, actually not school yet. So this was going to do the test. So my mom, first of all, we went for shopping when we came in, just to buy boots and sweaters, gloves, things here and there, just something for us to get used to be able to dress warm. And so this particular day, going to my story, because I talk a lot, going to my story, my mom had to go to work. But before she goes to work, she already booked appointments before. She booked appointment for us to have a test done at the test center. And we used to live downtown Toronto at this time, back then. So She booked the appointments and she told us we're gonna be going for your testing today, blah blah. We were already prepared. Anyways, it was just me and my cousin, not my brother. My brother didn't. He doesn't have to do any tests because he was still young. He was I think 12 or 11 or something at that time. Anyways, so she said, "I'm buying you a bus ticket." She already showed us around when we went for shopping, and she showed us, this is how you do this, is how you do this, and if you take this bus or train, this is where you get off. So we know what the house looked like. We know the number of the house and stuff like that. But we really didn't pay attention to the address, which is so stupid. Anyways, ugh, sorry about my language. I shouldn't say stupid. So, anyways, she told us, she's like, okay, so since you've been out a couple of times before and today you have to go do your testing, I can't be with you all through because I guess the test it's gonna take a couple of hours before we're done and then go home, and she has to go to work. So she dropped us off in the morning before she goes to work, and she said once you're done, and the streetcar downtown Toronto where we live, it's streetcars. I'm sure if you live around like Western Wall, you know what streetcars are. And if you're watching from back in Nigeria, it's those train, but it has like a thing at the top and it has a train track that it goes on, but on the normal streets. It looks like a bus, but it's actually a train kind of car, so they call it streetcar. Anyways, so she told us, you're gonna take this number, this bus number, and that bus number, and this is the house. When you finish, you guys make sure, come straight home, and that was it. And we didn't have a phone. That's another thing. At that time, she didn't think we need a phone yet. So, going back to my story, we went for the test. She dropped us off. She left. And the test was scheduled, I think, for about 3 or 4 hours, I think. Anyways, we finished. And after that, we went outside to go take the bus. This is so funny when I think back to. So it wasn't funny at that time. But anyway, so we took the bus. We had to take the bus first, and then we take the streetcar, and then we connect another streetcar. So we took the first bus, we took the second streetcar, the second ride, which is streetcar, and then the third one as well. We took the streetcar, or maybe we didn't take the third one, I can't remember. But the main point is, we got off at the wrong stop. We got off the wrong stop, that was the first mistake. And then we're looking for the house. We're looking for this, but I think this is the house. And we live in a high-rise building. It's an apartment building. And we didn't know where we were going. And it was so cold in the middle of the winter, like the snow was pouring. So we're looking at each other like, but this is the house, but that's the house. This is our building. And there's so many high-rise buildings, so many apartment buildings. I'm like, no, I don't think this is. So me and her were going back and forth like, no, it doesn't look like our apartment. It looks like it, but it's not it. We couldn't talk as much. First of all, we have our gloves on, we have our jacket on, we have a hat on, but we didn't have anything to cover our face. And because we're coming from somewhere, we're used to hot weather. So, and looking around for minutes and minutes and minutes, looking around, we were getting cold. But at the same time, we need to go home. We're looking everywhere, we don't know where it is. And it was so bad that when we talk about maybe around like 10 minutes, we still couldn't figure out where our house is. Oh my God. Our hands are freezing. We have gloves on, but those like kind of sweating gloves, not like the really warm one. That's the one we had on. And it was snowing. And a few minutes after, your hands are gonna freeze for sure. Our hands were so frozen. Oh my God. Wasn't funny. After a few minutes, we noticed that, I think we are lost. We don't know where we're going. We couldn't use the phone because we don't have a phone. But our mom mentioned that we can use a payphone. But the thing is, we don't have any coins to use a payphone, to put in the phone to use a payphone. So we had to ask people because we know these people were nice. And every single person we stopped to ask, some people will answer, some people will not. But the people who actually stayed and listened to what we have to say, we couldn't talk as much. First of all, it was so cold that our mouths were frozen. We were like, hello, hello. That's the first thing. The second thing, the language barrier. Oh my god, our accents actually. We were asking, please, we are lost. We don't know which way to go. And they were like, what? What? No one could figure out what we were talking about. And we were asking them for directions. And nobody could figure it out. Because they were like, I don't understand what you're saying. And they had to go because it was pouring snow. And we were like, oh my God, this is crazy. We're stuck. Anyways, about like 2 hours into this, more than 2 hours into this. And it was getting dark. At the end of the day, we figured it out. Then we noticed that we got off the wrong bus stop. So we reached in front of our apartment and we were like so happy, and it was so happy. But before we got there, we were crying. We couldn't talk. We were crying, angry, upset because people weren't listening, like couldn't understand what we were talking about, and we didn't know how to get home, and it was so freezing. We couldn't call our mom, and it was such a disaster. Finally, we figured it out. We go home, and crazy thing is, getting home, because we're so happy, it was so hard to open the door because our hands were so freezing. So we're like trying to open the door in the hallway, and we're like this, like, and me and my cousin were just like, oh, this is so bad. Anyways, we were able to open the door, and guess what we did? We went inside and we went and opened hot water from the tap, thinking, oh, once we get in, it's gonna feel better. We opened on one and we put our hands in, and it was another pain. Oh, thank God we didn't get frostbite because it was so crazy. We didn't know about this. And I guess my mom probably think we figure it out, and she, she's busy too, try to walk and single mom, whatever, whatnot, and it was really, really bad. We opened the tap and I screamed. I can't remember. I think my cousin too was just crying. I screamed so loud and we're crying. Oh my God. It took a couple of minutes, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes. I can't even remember before we were able to get ourselves together. We were just on the floor crying and screaming. And then after it, we were okay. We settled down. Then we took the phone. And my mom, she's been looking for us. Because she figured, she already calculated the time that, once we're done, we should take the bus. It will take this time and this time. Because everything is by schedule. Take this time to get home. But she didn't see us, so she was worried, and we don't have a phone to call us on. So when we finally called our mom, she was like, hello, I was so worried. Where were you guys? What happened? Can't you call me? You got me worried. You got me scared. And when I was trying to explain to her, like, Mom, that's not what happened. We were lost. We couldn't figure it out. And she said, you should have called 911. I'm like, we didn't have a phone. She's like, you don't need a phone. I paid phone to call 911. And we didn't even know this. Anytime you're lost, you don't know where you are, just grab whatever phone or pay phone, just dial 911. Apparently, we can do that, but we didn't know that at that time. If we knew, we would have called 911 and just tell them, this is so, my name is this and this. So we don't know where we are. We are new to the country, but we lost. And, they would have, maybe 2 or 3 or whatever police officer would have come and just kind of rescue us and take us home. But yeah, so that was a story I wanted to share. I don't know if anyone ever have this experience, coming to a new country and getting lost in the middle of winter. Yes, that's us. So anyways, thank you for listening to my crazy, weird, funny story. And don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you. Bye.